Hi everyone and welcome back to the Crafty Yellow Camper, and today I've got a card for you using some of the elements of the Oh Holy Night suite. I haven't got it all, I've just got some of it, so I'm just going to give you a quick look at it. It's on page 16 and 17 of the Autumn Winter catalogue. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so that you can see it all. Okay, so I'm just going to talk you through the bits that I have got. So I didn't go for this stamp set, which is called Night Divine, because I don't really have any call for making deeply religious cards. I think I've only got one or two friends that are sort of regular churchgoers, so I don't really have any call for that. So I didn't get that. I love the dies for the nativity, and I may or may not get those at some point. The other thing I've got is this gorgeous ribbon, which is shown there, but the catalogue doesn't do it justice. I'm hoping you can pick up how sparkly that is. So it's Night of Navy with sort of gold elements, and it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, look at that. It's slightly transparent, and then it's covered in this gorgeous gold glitter. Anyway, hopefully you can see that. But what we are going to be using today is some of the elements on page 17. So I have got this stamp set. The reason I bought this one is that I really like the sentiments. So they're celebrating the magic of the season, Merry Christmas, and wishing you the best and brightest holiday season, which I think are all quite usable for Christmas. But also this best and brightest of the holiday season would actually work quite well if you'd got somebody that from another faith, and they celebrate a particular holiday at another time. For argument's sake, if you've got anybody that's Jewish, you could use that for Hanukkah as well. Okay, so the main reason that I bought this stamp set is for this gorgeous star here, but also for these. So you've got this sort of radiating light, I suppose, and you've got this here, which would fit round one of the other items that I'm going to show you in a second. But although there is a New Year stamp set in this catalogue, because I don't send that many New Year's cards, this one for me is going to do double duty. So this could be a firework going off, and equally so could this. But the main reason I wanted to get that, I'm getting there, I promise you, was this hybrid embossing folder and the dies that go with it. So you can't buy this embossing folder on its own. It comes in a bundle with the dies that coordinate with this stamp set here. So that's the Stars at Night bundle. Now it is £54, but you're getting a 3D 6x6 embossing folder and the dies that coordinate with it. So I'm just going to show you my embossing folders already very well used. So it has these three gorgeous, hopefully you can see that, three gorgeous stars, and then various other stars that are dotted about. Now they coordinate with these dies. Now, I'm absolutely pants at getting them back on the paper where they came off, so I'm holding them carefully so I don't tip them everywhere. But this die here cuts all three of those stars in one go. Then you've got various other dies. So this is sort of the same image as the explosion. You've got other little stars. You've got these ones here, which layer up on some of the other stars, and these little diddy ones here, which layer up on some of the other stars. Now, Stampin' Up have done what they always do, and they've given us two of that size and two of that size. So rather, you know, if you want 8 of them, you haven't got to run it through 8 times. You can do it in 4 passes, which is ideal. Now, these all coordinate with this embossing folder. I mean, you can see mine is getting a little bit bent. Now, when you're running an embossing folder through your cut and emboss machine, always have the Stampin' Up logo on the front, and always put the hinge in first, that way. This is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you can see the detail. I'll show you the card we're going to make in a minute, and hopefully the detail will be more apparent. But it's got these little clusters of stars To be honest, if you were going to make a 6-inch square card or 6.5-inch square card, just that embossed on the front would be absolutely beautiful. As I said, these other stars line up with some of these, so you can see these ones here, these ones and these ones, they sort of line up with these and sort of infill on those ones, which is really, really useful. Okay, now the other thing that the clever people at Stampin' Up have done is that they've made it so the die fits into the embossing folder. And I've just realised that I've run mine through and it's slipped at some point because it's marked it. So be careful of that, be aware of that. So this die locks in, if I get it the right way up. No, I did have it the right way up. No, I didn't. Other way around, Julia. This die locks in to this embossing folder. I can't do it floating in midair, I'm afraid. I'm just going to have to put it down. Yeah, so it locks in to that embossing folder so that you can emboss and cut all in one pass through your machine. As I said, mine has clearly slipped here because it's marked the embossing folder, so just be careful about that. And then you can run it through with the dies in there. We've had a die that did that before with an embossing folder, and I can't for the oh, the shells, the seashells, that did the same thing. Right, if you'll pardon me for a second, I'm just going to slip these away because I don't want to end up losing them all over my desk. Now, my tip for today is, if you haven't already got one and you've got die sets like these that have got lots of little ones, this is a really good investment. So this, as you can see, because the fact it's picking my dies up, is magnetic. So these are generally used by mechanics. So when they're stripping down an engine or whatever else they're doing, when they take the screws or nuts or bolts or whatever out, they literally lob them into this dish. And you can see I've got a 13 amp fuse here. Look, it's standing up and it isn't going to move anywhere. So one of these is a really good investment if you've got a lot of small dies. It just saves you knocking them on the floor, into your bin, skidding across the laminate or whatever on your floor, and you spending hours on your hands and knees trying to find a teeny tiny die. So that's my tip for today, is get yourself a magnetic dish. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this embossing folder away and the dies, and then I'll move the catalogue out of our way as well, and we can get started on the card that we're going to make today. Okay, I like to try and keep my embossing folders in the bags if possible to help keep them a bit cleaner. Okay, so that's that. Right, so let's move those out of the way, and I'll move the catalogue out of the way as well. Okay. Right, so this is the card that we're going to make today. Oh, one last thing I didn't show you. These cute little trinkets. They're adhesive backed star trinkets, and they come in a couple of different sizes. Oh, I've got one slip there, look. So they're adhesive backed, so you get the bigger ones and then you get the smaller ones, and they're sort of a gold metallic. So we're going to be using those today. So yeah, this is the card that we're going to make today, and you can see that I've embossed. So this is basic white thick for the base with a layer of normal basic white, which I've run through the embossing folder. I just realised that's not level. I'll just sort that out in a minute. I've run through the embossing folder, and so hopefully if I hold it up, you can see that really nice textured embossing there. Really is lovely. The camera doesn't really do it justice. So this is the stamp set that goes with it. And the only thing that I've actually used on this card is this greeting here. But you can see you've got lots of lovely other elements. This little collection of stars. That's the sort of explosions that I was talking to you about. So there's lots of different things that I think you're going to be able to use that for. Okay, so let me bring my bits in. I've prepared all the bits and pieces beforehand because you don't need to see me standing at my die cutting machine. Or me trying to chat to you while I'm standing at my die cutting machine. So this is the embossed section without the stars on there. Hopefully you can see, look how much that raises that up. It really is 3D. So the first thing we're going to do is attach that to the front of our card. This is a really quick card. If you wanted to bulk make cards. I know I've rattled on about bulk making cards on some of my DVDs, but especially with Christmas coming up, typical, my glue's going to decide to run out. Especially with Christmas coming up, it's nice to be able to, you know, prepare all the elements for some cards and then sit and put them together rather than keep getting up and down and up and down. And if you're anything like me, I tend to design about 6 different cards to send out with various stamp sets and make blocks of those. So I'll make 10 at a time. As I said, it just makes it quicker, so I can stand and run 10 pieces of cardstock, which, by the way, is 10 centimetres by 14.3. You know, I can stand at my die cutting machine and I can run this through the folder 10 times a lot quicker than I can make each individual one, and then start again. Okay, so I'm just going to line that up there. So all we're doing is sticking the Whisper White panel, sorry, basic white panel onto the basic white thick panel. Okay, now the next bit is where I've gone a little bit rogue, and I'm actually using some contraband. So I'm using some glimmer paper that was in last year's seasonal, and the reason for that is that I missed an item off my order. So I will go back and do that again. But I'm hoping I'm still right in telling you this, that we have on the online exclusive some self-adhesive glimmer paper, and that would make this kind of card really easy because you could just die cut your star, peel the back off. Okay, so I'm just going to add that on. Now I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals for this because I want it to sort of stand out. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's been another lovely day here in the UK. It's been really, really sunny. But my chest is thinking that it's autumn, so I should have a cough, I think. I'm asthmatic, so as soon as the seasons start to change, that does affect my cough. Right, okay, so I'm just going to line that up. Now, this has got pointy ends. Hopefully you can see that. This has got pointy ends where this cuts with curved ends. So just try and make sure that you've lined up all the points before you push it down. With dimensionals, if you haven't lined the points up properly, before you actually give it a firm press, you have got the opportunity to pull it back off and reposition it. And then what I've done is I've cut 2 of these little smaller stars. Now, this is in gold. These are in rose gold. As I said, that paper isn't available at the moment because of my mess up with my order. I've had to use retired product. These would look nice cut out of any foil cardstock you might have. As I said, I fully intend to order this self-adhesive glimmer paper if it's still available. Hopefully it is. So all I'm going to do is just add these, just with a little bit of glue this time, over the top of these other stars here. Now I've put that one on, but I need to add my greeting before I add that one. Actually, no, I don't. Ignore me, because I'm going over here with that one. Now, when you're adding elements to your card, it's always best to group them in odd numbers. So I've got 3. I'm just going to hold that down so the glue goes. I've got 3 stars on the front here. My main gold one and these 2 rose gold stars. And then I've used the greeting and I've die cut it using the shaped die that's in the set. Let me bring those back in so I can show you. There's this die here which fits perfectly around that bigger greeting. So I'm just going to pop some dimensionals onto the back of that. Okay. There's probably people out there yelling at me, put more dimensionals on. But I'm very frugal with my dimensionals, partly because they are also something I missed off my order. Okay, and we're just going to try and line that up with the bottom of the card. Hopefully we've got it all level. Okay, and then just one last finishing touch, and that is the trinkets. So I'm using one of the larger ones here. As I said, they're adhesive backed, so you just need to pop them off. Pokey tool's always the easiest, I find. And I'm just going to pop that in the middle of that star. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so it's nice and shiny and blingy, and that, if I bring this in, hopefully it'll focus. There, that gold star trinket fits really nicely in the middle there. And you could use a few of the smaller ones. You could pop a couple up here of the smaller ones, but I'm happy with that as it is. So as I said, really quick and easy card, really easy to make in bulk because you can prepare all your bits beforehand and then just sit and assemble. So that's the one I'd already made, and that's the one we've made today. So have a look at that suite. Don't just disregard it if you're not particularly religious, thinking that it's not for you. I'm not, and I can see that the stars are going to get used a lot in my Christmas crafting. I'll be back in a little while with my take on an ornament that I've seen the CEO make with another demonstrator, and when I've done that I'll put that on and show you as well. I'm just waiting for some bits to come from Amazon for that. Yeah, so I hope you like the card, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.